What's up, guys? Garrett with SelfTaughtDev. In this video, we're going to look at a question from Reddit. When a job posting says 3+ years experience in X technology, do they mean when you started using X or when you started to learn how to use X? So usually they mean when you started using X because they're looking for like real experience. But most of the time when I see something like this on job posts, I ignore it. Like if I saw a post that said you needed 3+ years of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript experience on a job post, I'd probably ignore it and apply anyway if I was just starting out, because a lot of times what they have on there is just a wish list, and who knows? You might like throw your hat in the ring metaphorically, and you might be the best option. You might get the job. So we're going to look at a few jobs here that I've pulled up on LinkedIn, front-end developer jobs in the US. Also, if you want to be friends on LinkedIn or connect on there, look in the description. I'll have my profile linked in there, and you can go add me. We can be friends on there and connect. But first one up here, this is a front-end developer position, and looking at this contract to hire, or long-term contract, but this has minimum 10+ years of experience is required. So if they're saying 10+ years of experience, that to me indicates they're kind of looking for more like a senior person. And this, like if I was a new, just starting out, trying to find my first job dev, I'd probably go past that one. I clicked record, right? All right, good, I did. I am recording. Just making sure. Sweet. Next one up, front-end developer. With this one, the opportunity, design, architecture, design, develop. So web and mobile applications. So that part turns me off a little bit, because if I was just starting out, I'd be looking explicitly for a front-end developer job, not like web and mobile. And then they also say 5 to 8 years of experience. To me, that indicates more medium or like mid-level dev. So I probably would pass on this one too. Front-end developer, what is this one? This one, they're listing just like a whole bunch of stuff. JavaScript, Node, React, Ruby, Python, OP, which that's not even a language. C#, Swift, Java, Python, and this is front-end. Yeah, see, so they're I don't know. They're listing like back-end technologies in this, and they're advertising this as a front-end position. That's kind of odd to me. I'd probably skip that one too. Front-end dev, Michael's Stores. Okay, so this one's talking about work with existing code in CMS platforms. CMS platforms, when you're looking for your first job, that is a great thing to look for, because that's basically, CMS platforms are basically like WordPress. So like you have a back end where it's easier for non-tech people to go in and make changes. And then you just be using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. jQuery is outdated, but it's not that bad to like still, that wouldn't turn me off for my first job just because they're using jQuery and it's old. But yeah, this is absolutely something I apply to for like a first time front-end developer job. I'm looking for like my first job. Demonstrated ability to code, deep understanding of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Git, GitHub, Atom, Sublime. Those are 2 text editors, which is kind of odd. I don't feel like your text editor should matter when you're going to a job. But that also indicates that whoever's hiring for this position or whoever posted this isn't super tech savvy to me. And that's a good sign for you, because it'd be easier to impress them, in my mind. I don't know what Adobe CS5 is. Strong understanding of servers, database, general networking, Flash, HTML. Yeah, I definitely apply to this one. 3+ years experience. See, I'd ignore that. Because when basically the year ranges, if it's 10+, they're looking for more senior. And if you're going for your first developer job, I'd probably ignore those. That would probably be a waste of time and their time. Anywhere from like 4 to 8 is more like mid-level, in my opinion. And then anywhere from like 3 or lower, even if it says 3+, if it's that or lower, or maybe even 4+ or lower, I'd still probably apply to it, just to like throw my hat in the ring. Like I said, maybe they can't find anybody better. Maybe they'll give you a chance, or maybe you'll interview and they'll be like, yeah, this guy has some drive. We can't give him the position, but we could offer him like an internship or something. And internship is equally as valuable in terms of getting your first experience as a developer. And that's like the biggest thing when you're transferring from some other career to trying to become a developer, is just getting that first bit of experience, because that's going to make you way more valuable than somebody who has no experience at all. Even if it's just an internship, If it's a low paying internship and you can make that work somehow, like you can cut some stuff out of your budget and still make the low paying internship work, I'd go with that. You could probably do that for like 6 months, maybe a year. But after like 6 months, I'd start applying for other jobs, and you've got a little bit of experience now, and you'd probably be able to find another job where you're making a little bit more. Probably you're not going to be making like 6 figures after that. Probably not. There's a very low probability of that, I would say, but more than you'd be making just as like an intern. For sure. On to the next one. Let's keep looking at a few more of these just to see what we got. You might have to relocate depending on where the job is, or you could like, of course, search specifically where you're located. If you're willing to relocate, that's going to help a lot getting your first job. Because I mean, like when I was originally starting to learn web development, I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, or Bossier City, Louisiana, and there's not a whole lot of tech jobs around there. So the ability to like, and willingness to relocate to somewhere like Dallas, where there's a lot bigger tech scene, that had a huge impact on my ability to get a job. So strong CSS, HTML, JavaScript, jQuery, Flex, Bootstrap, minimum 2 to 3 years. So yeah, this is definitely one I'd apply to as well. Looking for my first developer job. Front-end engineer, Motion recruitment. So Motion's a contracting firm. That's actually who I technically work for right now. And they say mid to senior level. So that that'd probably turn me off to applying this just right off the bat. And then also 8+ years, 5+ years. So that kind of rules out. That would kind of like turn me off to that job, looking for like my first developer job. Fidelity Investments, hybrid. Another thing, if you're looking for your first dev job, you're probably going to have to go to an office. Like, probably not going to get a remote job as your first one. A lot of companies are switching back to like wanting people to be in office for some reason. And then as you're like with your first tech job, it's kind of nice having like a more senior person right next to you, where if you get stuck, you can be like, hey, what's up with this part right here? How do I fix this? What would you do in this situation? Obviously, don't like, if you get your first dev job and you've got like a more senior person right next to you, don't bug them every single time you get stuck. If you need to spend at least like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, maybe trying to figure that out on your own. Because that's like the struggle of trying to figuring out stuff on your own is where things really start to click and where you start to remember stuff. If somebody just gives you the answer, that's not going to stick in your brain as well. And you're probably going to come across that problem again and be like, dang it. Hey, how do I solve this again? And then that's going to annoy them because they don't want to repeat themselves, right? Like if they say something, either write it down or take a note, do something to where you don't have to ask them about that again. But make sure you tried to figure out the solution to the problem on your own before you ask them. So you can say, hey, I've tried X, Y, and Z. Fidelity. So what were we at with this? Angular, TypeScript, JavaScript, Node. If you know Angular, TypeScript, and JavaScript and Node, I'm not seeing any like year requirements on this. Like I'd throw my hat in the ring. Why not? Okay, we'll do like 1 or 2 more. Front-end engineer, 4+ years of TypeScript. So this one kind of feels like more senior level to me, or not senior, mid-level to me. Just, well, it says entry level, so no, screw it. Go and apply to that. Anything that says entry level that comes up when I'm searching for front-end engineer absolutely would apply to that, because that means they're looking for somebody who's entry level specifically. So I'd probably apply to that. Atlanta front-end developer, ID mid-senior level, but let's look at this and see. So they're not saying any kind of like year ranges. Experience building OWA, object-oriented web applications in JavaScript, HTML5, and Vue. I'd probably throw my hat in the ring on that one too, just because why not? But speaking of throwing your hat in the ring, if you need a resume template, if you want my resume template, the one I was using to apply for jobs before I had any tech experience, when I was just starting out, look in the description. I'll have a way you can get that emailed to you, so you can just swap out my template information for your information, have a nice little resume. But I think that's about it for this one. Just want to give my thoughts on that. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to go to the r/self.dev subreddit. Throw some questions in there. If it's a good question, I'll probably make a video on it. Or you can also come to our Discord. Link to both of those is in the description below, and ask your questions there, or DM me, connect on LinkedIn, message me there. I don't respond to these messages very often, actually, so LinkedIn's probably a horrible place to message me. Discord's the best way to get in contact with me if you need something. And hit that thumbs up button if you learned something cool from this. Hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the cool content I'm putting out. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.